Welcome to the Grapefully Yours Wine Podcast. I am Jim Campanini, co-host of this beautiful, fantastic, huge wine show. And my co-host is the wine butler, Mike Pigeon. Mike, how are you doing today?
Very, very good. Our viewership will be up with all the rainy weather. People will be staying in watching the show.
Oh, man, you just can't get over these weekends.
Every
we have our producer, Teddy Panos.
He's in the house.
Good morning, Teddy. How you doing?
Great, gentlemen. How are you?
We're coming to you from the InsideLowell studios in gorgeous downtown Lowell, where the Folk Fest will be coming up, whether we have federal funds or not. We're still going to run it.
Send in your donation.
Yeah. So that's it. This InsideLowell podcast is coming to you from the WellPoint Studios. WellPoint, the only health plan offering healthcare benefits exclusively to Massachusetts GIC members. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. Good. We get that out of the way. I get $5 every time I read that, you know.
Well, you should. Your pronunciation.
Teddy's about $3,000 behind in payments, but anyway. But so there's a lot going on with the wine world, Mike. And but first of all, before we talk about some wines that we have today, and you've got a special one that you want to share with the audience, okay? I have to talk about a fantastic night we had at the Campanini compound. To celebrate my 73rd birthday.
Didn't we?
Mike came over, and I think we had 3 bottles of wine that night. I did the fillets on the grill.
Great wines, though. Let's put that in. Great
just 2 couples, Mike and his wonderful wife, Judy, the wine goddess, my wife, Mary Lee, and myself. Just sat out on the deck, had a beautiful night. But the key to it was, I really tested Mike's palate that night, because we started out with the 𝐲𝐿berto, which is for the Tenuta, the Guido's Santa. What is it? Santa it's the baby Sassicaia. The baby Sassicaia. We had that. Do you remember this bottle?
Oh, yeah.
The 𝐲𝐿berto. Okay, Tenuta San Guido, which makes Sassicaia. So this is and we've showcased this before. So this 𝐲𝐿berto, when I bought this, this is the 2019. I think I paid $60 a bottle for it. Now Sassicaia, which is an iconic wine from Italy, and it's one of the top 5 wines in the world. You can spend anywhere from $250 to $400 a bottle.
Wow.
And the older versions of it, you can't get anymore if you have it collectors, $500,000-$600,000 a bottle and stuff. So this comes from the same winery. Basically, the same grapes, and that's why I was attracted to 𝐲𝐿berto to try it and stuff. And so the point is, if you want to introduce yourself to the great winery Tenuta San Guido, this is the bottle you'd look for to try it, and then step up. Or when you go to a restaurant and you have the cash to spend $600 for a bottle of Sassicaia, you pay it. Or maybe you pay, $70, $80 for a glass of it if they have a special on it. But this was very good. So we started out the evening with the appetizers and stuff. We had that. Do you remember that now?
Yes, I did. I thought that was a great wine.
Then we went to the big boy, the 2015 Sassicaia. We had this with the steak, which was very, very good. And of course, like I said, this is a fantastic Italian wine.
Well, it is your birthday after all.
Yeah. This was one of the original Super Tuscans. It's a Bordeaux style Italian wine. It's made from Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon. Petit Verdot, and it traces its roots back to the 1970s when the Marchesa, the Rocchetta, decided that they could make Bordeaux grapes just as good as the French. No one believed them, and a matter of fact, 𝐲𝐶 was scorned by Italian regulators because, they just wanted winemakers to make Italian grapes, native grapes, But he pushed ahead, and it started a revolution. And then you had other wines, Tignanello being the other one from the Antinori's. They made Tignanello and stuff. So it was just a great revolution. So we had that. Now, out of the two, can you remember which one you liked best from them?
I was great from the get-go. No, I couldn't. They were great wines. Thank you. Yeah, they were
So
great.
the 2015 𝐲𝐶, this is still considered young. I mean, it could go another 10 years, 15 years. And I was surprised because I opened it up. 2015 was a classic year. 2010, a classic. I mean, where the whole
Weather cycle was
vintage
just right.
weather cycle was perfect. Almost 95 points. This had a 97-point rating from a lot of wine experts. Antonio Galloni reviewed it. I think gave it 96 plus points, and it's probably going to go up as the years go by. This was a little closed when we drank it. I mean, and it said that in some of the latest reviews from people who tried it. I mean, it got great ratings and recommendations when it first came out because of its potential, the quality of the grapes, the taste and stuff. But what happens with long-lived wines, they have a period where they close down a little. They're still maturing in the bottle. Closing down meaning that they don't have that, the vibrancy, some of the characteristic layers as they gain complexity in the bottle. So, I mean, it was very, very good, but it's going to get better. So, I've got 2 more bottles of the 2015. So, hopefully, I'm going to live another 5 to 10 years.
Let it mature and open.
Yeah, it's going to mature. But then, Mike's palate still wasn't. It still wasn't satiated. So then, do you remember the big boy we took out?
I think it was a friend from Walla Walla, wasn't it? Mr. Bledsoe.
Yes, we took out Drew Bledsoe's a signed bottle. Drew Bledsoe's double back premium Cabernet, 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. We got the Drew's signature on the bottle and stuff. And really, when it came down to it, now we had been drinking and eating, which was fine because we ate for about 2 hours when we first sat down with the appetizers and all the way through the steaks. We had dessert and everything, and we took this out, and I tell you. It was the wine of the night, I think.
Yeah, I hope yep.
Even with these 2 heavy hitters and stuff, whether it was the taste, I mean, the night was beautiful. It was a beautiful night. But in Drew's Cabernet Sauvignon, if you buy it from the winery like I do, I'm a club member. It's now up to about $118 a bottle. When I first started buying Drew's in 2009, it was $82 a bottle,
Which was a lot back then.
Which was a lot back then. But it's just gotten better and better. And this 2015 got a very high rating, like 95 points, a classic. So, now, the Grazi restaurant, Mike Kunstler's place in Drake. If you go there, he has some premium double back bottles up there, okay? And they're selling, over $200 a bottle and stuff. And I'm not telling you to buy that, but he's got the family wine, the 1 liter jug, okay, the Cabernet Sauvignon, $139. It's worth it. If you're having a celebration, it's worth it because you get an extra glass. It's the 1 liter bottle. These are 750 milliliter bottles. So you get an extra glass, and it's a good introduction to Drew Bledsoe's wines. So but the taste really rich. The 2015. I mean, he's been knocking it out of the park. With his latest wines, the 2019, the 2020, they all were rated highly by Wine Spectator and other top wine critics and stuff. So Drew is really hitting his groove as a winemaker, owner. And he's got a great winemaker, Josh McDaniels, not the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. It's a friend, a high school friend of his that he's known for a long time. Josh is a great winemaker in his own right and stuff.
Yeah, I thought Drew hit his stride more than a few years ago. I just thought he never got proper recognition until the last few years.
Yeah, well, it's tough because he started from scratch.
Yeah.
He did it the right way, and now that family wine he has, the Cabernet Sauvignon.
Excellent.
So this is double back, and then Drew's got his family wine line. It's Bledsoe Family Wines, and Wine Spectator selected it 17th in their top 100 list last year, and it costs about $58 to $60 a bottle. The grapes are a little different from some he owns 5 vineyards now and stuff, but to me, you really couldn't taste it. This is a little richer, a little bolder, but I tell you, his family wine for the price beats a lot of Napa Valley wines in that price range.
Yep.
So if you could find a bottle of that, sometimes they he does sell them out, but sometimes any surplus excess ends up at the New Hampshire liquor store. If you see it, grab a handful if you can.
I've never seen. I know you have seen it once or twice up there, but I've never.
Yeah, I know.
Times I've gone, never seen
they
it.
go
It's
like
a rarity.
that, but
It's a rarity.
Yeah, you have to visit it and stuff like that. So it's great. All right, so that was our great night out. We had a great time, and I told Mike at the end of the night, I says, Mike, how's it feel to drink about $1,000 worth of wine in one sitting? Of course, I was exaggerating a little, but that Sassicaia that I bought for, I think I paid $260 for it when I paid for it, is now worth over $400 a bottle. It just keeps going up. And Drew's 2015, they sold a 2014 at an auction I saw online. The 2014 Cabernet wasn't rated as high as the 15, and it went for $450 a bottle at the auction. So right there is $900. It's amazing. So it was nice. And that's the thing about collecting. When I was doing it, I was working. I had the disposable income. It was something that I liked. It's much more difficult to do today. I had to scale way back. But the thing is, I've got all those bottles that I bought, and that's what we're drinking right now. So that's it. So now we're going to get into some of the wines that we have in front of us. And Mike's got one that, Mike likes the Bordeaux style grapes and stuff, and he found a nice one at the Wine Connection, and he really liked it. Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, to me, the wine was the pronunciation.
Lupaia. Lupaia. Lupaia.
And I've always loved the Bordeaux style. The Merlot just softens those wines, and I like a more softer wine. But I want something more than a Merlot. So I took that trip with you up the Wine Connection in Andover, and I was looking for French wines, Bordeaux style. I'm from Saint Emilion and Pomerol, because they're right what I like as far as the softness, but yet a nice little. And they had that for $11.99 a bottle.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll give it a try. So I opened it home. Sometimes you're disappointed at $11.99 a bottle, but it had the nice mixture of the Sangiovese along with the Merlot and the Cabernet, I think it was, in Merlot, Sangiovese, and
So that's really a Super Tuscan blend.
Yeah, made in Tuscany.
Lupaia. Yeah, it's made in Tuscany.
Yeah.
And and I've seen the bottle, but you really enjoyed it.
And sometimes, let's face it, $11.99 a bottle. You're going to be disappointed every now and then for $11.99, but it was a pleasant surprise. And I'm saying, wow, I got that for 11. It's my Bordeaux blend. I was kind of thought I'd like it, but I liked it a lot. And when you piggyback that with what I paid for $11.99, I felt like I hit gold.
Yeah. So, what was the taste? Was it berry taste, blue, like a blueberry taste?
A little bit.
Yeah. With that Merlot, that gives it the blue fruit flavors.
Very
and stuff.
pleasant. Very pleasant.
The Sangiovese would give you those red berry flavors.
13% alcohol.
Yeah.
A little low, but it's good.
What did you eat it? What did you drink it with? Were you eating anything specific with that?
I was taken with the wine, and I forgot. I think I had strip steaks. I think I had
Strip
those
steak,
strip
yeah.
steaks. Yeah.
Oh, good.
They were on
That's a good
sale. You got to
blend.
grab them when they're on sale at Market Basket, because if you don't, they're up to like $17.99 a pound.
Yeah. So, Lupaia, if you go up to the Wine Connection, which is Andover, you see Sam Messina, that's the father, and his son Dave Messina, and Tina's the sister. They run the place. And he's got some great, some great wines that are different because, they're an independent operator now. They're battling Total Wine and New Hampshire liquor stores, and they've always been competitive with their prices and stuff. But the squeeze is getting more and more difficult, and they've got to seek out a lot of these winemakers on their own and distributors.
Yeah.
They don't mimic a lot of the major brands. Of course, they carry major brands and stuff, but they seek out wines that they taste. I mean, they take trips to Italy. They go to France, a lot of wine tastings and stuff. And I tell you, they've found a lot of gems through the years.
They have.
And from these little known but ascending wineries and winemakers, and then they bring the winemakers in. I mean, it's a great place. They have free wine tastings,
and the wine tastings are free, and they're very popular. They always have 8 or 10 different bottles,
and they've got free tasting stations. They got like 20 wines now in cases. I mean, you just go up there and taste it right there before you buy it. I mean, they put a lot of their time, energy, and money into that, into the operation and stuff. If you've never been to a wine tasting, you should go, because most of the people pouring the wine are staffers, and they know what they're talking about. They're just not reading off a card and stuff. So it's a good spot, because 2 of the wines that I'm going to talk about also from the wine connection. The first is, as it gets warmer during the summer, most people, they leave their red wines behind, except for the cookouts. If they're cooking out on the grill, steaks, you're gonna have a Cabernet or Bordeaux blend or something red. You don't have to, but most people will, because it just goes with the food. Okay, but a couple of people are asking me, Jim, what's a good wine that I could put a chill on it? The Portuguese do it, the Spanish do it, Rioja and other Portuguese, those are Spanish blends, Portuguese blends, and they chill them just nice, and on a very warm day, they taste great. Well, Italy also has some of those wines. Okay, they can put a chill on it. And Barbera, you can put a little chill on Barbera, Barbera d'Alba or d'Asti, you can do it. But this is a fascinating wine that I've heard about it. I never saw it in the store, but Dave Messina, they had it for $12.99. It's called Schioppettino. Very rare grape that was close to extinction. It comes from the northeast corner of Italy in the Friuli Giulia region, right along the Slovenia border.
Wow, that's way up. That's up above Verona.
So it's native to both Slovenia in Italy, okay, Schioppettino means gunshot, believe it or not. Okay, and it's got a raspberry and raspberry red fruit taste to it. But the thing that got me was it's got a tinge of that minerality too from up there. The soils, this is a little cooler district, up there because you got the Alps. To the left, you got the Alto Adige and the Trentino region of Italy and stuff. So it's a cool, refreshing wine. Look at the color. It's almost got like Pinot Noir qualities. When I first tasted it, I said, "Wow, this is like a Pinot Noir." Only thing it had a little deeper. Nice, huh? Nice fragrance.
Yeah, it's got its own identity, doesn't it?
And so if you drink a lot of Sangiovese and stuff, which I do, it's always good to have a change of pace. And this wine really floored me, especially for $12.99. And I did chill it. I put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. And then I took it out for 10 minutes, because I just wanted it to warm up a little. Not the, you don't want a cold wine that's going to shatter your teeth and stuff. And I just kept looking at it sitting there. My wife kept saying, "When are you going to drink that wine?" And I says, "No, I had it in the refrigerator. I'm not going to get down to like room temperature." What do you think?
It's up in your nostrils quick, doesn't it? It's like, is that the alcohol content that does that? Or
I think it's only 13%. What is it?
that's
13?
it?
13% alcohol.
That's it?
It's known for its light alcohol.
Really? It got up
Yeah.
in my bingos.
Well, it's very fragrant.
Yeah.
Very fragrant.
That's much what it is, yeah.
It's almost got an herbal quality to it with a lot of that. Yeah, it's a red berry fruit wine, but very pleasing. The texture is nice. Now, it's got, so let me read you about Lilis. So this wine was almost extinct in the early 20th century. There was a phylloxera outbreak in Italy, France, and Europe. A lot of the vineyards were wiped out. There's no cure for phylloxera. It's an insect that attacks the roots. The thing that saved the French and later the Italian wine industry was the American grapes. Okay, they grafted the American vine, okay, to the French and Italian grapes because it was resistant to the phylloxera disease. Okay, so that's what revived it. But still, this grape, even though it had a history, they found documents where it was used in marriage ceremonies. It was the grape to have in 1282. So the 13th and 14th centuries, it was the go-to grape for marriage ceremonies, okay, in this region of Italy and Slovenia and stuff. So it had a lot of history. And then slowly, as they were clearing land in the late 20th century, a couple of vintners found some vines still growing in the wild, okay? And they did DNA tests. They found it was this Schioppettino. Okay, and so he says, "Hey, let's start making it." And the Italian government encouraged them to do it because it was a native grape. So it made a comeback in this region. And what happened was some enterprising winemakers from California liked it in their travels to Italy. They brought some back, and now there's a section of just north of Napa Valley, Healdsburg. There's 5 wineries that have been making this wine since the late 20th century and carried over. So it's an interesting story, and they make it as both a blending grape and to sell on its own, 100% varietal. So really, really interesting. But it's got a wonderful color. the ruby highlights, the little
Very nice.
purple
Yeah,
hue
yeah.
and ruby highlights and stuff. And like I said, you could put a little chill on it. And so this is my second bottle. I bought 2 bottles. We had this. Really made a white pizza with the Greek olives and artichokes. Okay, the nice. It was absolutely
this
fascinating.
wine?
Then she also made the red pizza with the sausage. Pepperoni. I'm sorry, pepperoni. Well, I actually liked it with the white, the artichoke taste,
yeah.
and the Greek olives. Not the black olives, the Greek olives. It just had that saltiness, added that saltiness to it, and it really went very, very well. So, but it is a nice, refreshing red wine. Like I said, if you're looking for a red wine that could put a little chill on it, we do it with sangria when you make sangria. So if you should try it. And the Wine Connection, this is called Cormons. Okay, and that's a collective, a group of vintners in the area that pool their grapes together and make this wine, and you should give it a try. I think it's a nice refreshing wine, something for a change of pace.
And what does this go for a bottle?
$12.99.
Really?
Yeah.
And where did you find that?
The Wine Connection.
That's right. You said you got it out there. So it was just a wine you chose.
Yeah.
Spontaneous. Yeah.
Well, I read about it in Wine Spectator, and I tried to go back and look for the article. I couldn't find it, but it was like a 1-page notice that this grape had been revived and was doing very well, and some of the wines coming out were getting a call out because they were so good and tasty. And this is fruity and tasty. So, but I could, it's a limited production, so you don't find it in the New Hampshire liquor stores. And I went online to a few places. You had to order it for them to get it. But when I saw it at David's, he had it right up in the front. I said, hey. He says, "Oh yeah, we've been bringing this in. We met the. It's from it's imported by Oz Wine Company, Methuen, Massachusetts."
Well, it wouldn't be a sought after wine because who's heard of it?
Right. So once again, Sam and Dave Messina doing their homework. They knew of it and tasted it, and a local importer, and he has a connection, the Wine Connection. So it was really good, and I'm glad. So I think it's my wine of the week, and you should try to flag it down because it is a tasty. I think it's a tasty gem.
It is. It's,
And it'd be great for pizza, pasta, burgers. I think light meals, but it's a great drinking wine, very refreshing.
Yeah.
Good. Do you see it as having a little Pinot Noir like quality to it, or?
Well, visually it does.
Yeah, visually. Yeah.
And
Yeah. So when I looked the Cormons up, they had it that they serve it actually. They actually recommend chilling it a little. Okay, now not in the 50 degrees. You just want to put a little chill on it, like 58 to 63 degrees in there, and then let it. Warm to room temperature, but it really brings out the complexity when you do that. And they described it. The winemaker described it as soft jelly fruit. Soft jelly fruit. Yeah, there's a little.
Jammy.
Yeah. And it's aged in oak barrels, so it's not as tannic, and it is. It's got a nice. You can feel a little grip, but it's very, very slight. So it's made to be consumed young and early, they suggested having it with papadal. You know, the pappardelle, the pasta with game sauces, grilled meats, and roasts. So I think it would go
Just
well.
about everything.
Yeah. So let's see. I want to find out, what does this gunshot mean? I couldn't find it, but Schioppettino meaning gunshot or little crack, and it's also known as Ribolla netta. But I couldn't track down, okay, so gunshot or little crack, where did that come from?
No idea.
I'm still researching that because it must have been, you know, it was basically in a rustic area, maybe hunters or farmers. They were out there when they found the vines, the old vines. I don't know, but I couldn't find out a connection with the gunshot and the wine, but it got its name that way. So anyway, that's Schioppettino.
Schioppettino.
Okay. Now the other wine that really got my fancy. This is 𝐖𝐢𝐧𝐞. This is from Sicily. It's the Nerello Mascalese Bianco. And it struck my eye. This also came from the Wine Connection, and it was like $14. This is the 2023, because Nerello Mascalese is a noble red grape of Sicily. Okay, there is no Nerello Mascalese white grape, Mascalese. Okay, now if you attended my wine classes, you learned that you can make a white wine from a red grape, but you can't make a red wine from a white grape. Why is that, Mike?
Well, the skins.
That's right.
The tannins in there.
The color of the wine
color.
comes from the skin color. So you can take the skin off the pulp. All pulp in wine grapes are white. Okay, you got to be careful. You got to eliminate the skin. Then you can crush that pulp and make a white grape. So I says, "Wow, this is different." And once again, I saw David Messina. He said, "Jim, you've never tried that?" I says, "No," and he says, "Yeah, it's a fantastic." White from Sicily, and they make it by, basically taking the skins out of the production process, and then they ferment it in cement, okay, to keep it that freshness and bring out the other character of it and stuff. So I did some research on this, and the winemaker is Filippo Mangione 𝐖𝐢𝐧𝐞. He owns only 6 acres of a farm, and four of those acres are given to the Nerello Mascalese, okay, and he grows it, and it's about 2,200 feet in the Etna, Mount Etna, the volcanic area.
yeah.
He's in that red zone right around it. And they have photos of his vineyard and backyard, okay? So you're looking out, and you can see the cap, and there was smoke coming out of that.
Get it not now before he gets
No,
swallowed
I know.
up.
I says, wow, he's living right in the danger zone.
Oh.
But all around Etna is this green and black, because the soils are black from the lava
volcano,
spewing out. So you see this rim, this zone of green verdant vineyards when they're in bloom, and then the black is all around it. But oh man, what a place! I mean, so he tends to this. And these are his babies. He only does the Nerello Mascalese, and so I tried this wine. And my wife is a big Chardonnay fan. I said, "Marilee, you got to try this." Very, very. It's dry, and yet it had that exotic taste. But the thing that really made it, sense of place, gave it that location, was the terroir. You could pick up the iron, the minerality of it. I don't mean like you're eating a steel bar, but it had that great. It was different. It was vibrant, and it had a nice finish, that nice mineral finish, you know, as it, and I says, wow, it was a classic. Once again, I think it was $14.99, $13.99 or $14.99, and it's very limited production, okay, because you know they can get a lot more for the Rosso style, the Nerello Mascalese, but and it is a difficult production practice because you have to make sure that those skins don't touch the juice when you're making the white. So you've got to refine this and filter this, and the thing is, I wanted to save some for Mike so he could taste it, but I liked it so much, and even my wife, we finished the bottle. You know.
You know what I was just looking at? I've never noticed before. You had one of these wine bottles here, and that was empty, and yeah, Bledsoe's right here.
Yeah.
The punt,
Yeah,
goes way up to here. So that's a flat, hardly any punt, like nothing.
Yeah.
So you're getting less wine in there too, aren't you?
No.
When that goes up,
just the bottle. The bottle weighs more. That's all. Feel that bottle and feel this one. I mean, come on. The weight is different.
Yeah, it weighs
more
more.
glass. It's more glass in that.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most premium bottles, because the weight, that's how he's going to pour it. See, that's how they pour it and stuff. You know, the Bordeaux style wines and everything. So we've touched on 3 beautiful wines and buys that you could probably look for, and they probably have them at the Wine Connection, 'cause that's where we bought ours. Mike's Lupaia, the Super Tuscan blend. Okay, you've got the Friuli Colli Cormons Schioppettino, very, very nice, a red. Okay. And then the Nerello Mascalese Bianco, which is a real treat. When you can make a white wine out of the red grape, which is classified as Sicily's noble red grape. That's like saying, you know, the noble red grape of Tuscany is Sangiovese.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how this is revered. This Nerello Mascalese. You should get a bottle of the red and the white and taste it together. See how you know the different characteristics and taste. But this is also at the Wine Connection, and they all sell for, you know, under like we said, Mike's was $11.99. This was $12.99, and this was about $14.99 or $13.99. It was in that range. So something to hunt down and enjoy your summer with. And you know, even Mike's Lupaia, I imagine you could put a little chill on that, right?
I think you should in all red, because this room temperature came years ago when room temperatures were cooler than they are today. Yeah. If you can find the time, it's always better to put a red wine in the summer months, let's say from June to September 1st. Chill them a little bit. Yeah. Try to bring the temperature down.
Especially those Spanish and Portuguese blends that are so great, fantastic. You know, they do it all the time because, you know, they're getting 100-degree days out there.
Yeah, you don't drink
so
wine,
you adapt quickly.
No.
So
it's got to be refreshing besides enjoyable. And, you know, you can't drink a red wine where it'll ruin it if you keep it in 90, 100-degree temperatures anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay, any closing thoughts there, Mike?
No, that's good. Nice little party we had for you. What do you know? 63, 64?
No, 73.
Yeah.
Catching up to you. How old are you?
Oh, I'll be, I look good for a 100-year-old guy.
Well, you're going to be 80 this month, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have another party.
Maybe we will. Who knows?
All right. So until we see you again and Mike turns 80, may the 81. May the wine be with you.
And here's the Social Security.